My precious child, something sacred stirred the heavens today. One of your ancestors, whose soul now dwells in the realm of light, stood before me with a sorrow so deep it echoed through eternity. But they did not weep for themselves. They wept for you. Their tears fell not from regret, but from an urgent love. A love that pleaded with such holy desperation that I, the Lord your God, have come now to speak with you directly. Still your heart. Put everything else aside. Let nothing distract you in this moment, for what I am about to share will not only startle your spirit, but will awaken you to truths you were never meant to face alone. Listen closely. When I formed you in the secret places of your mother's womb, I already knew this day would come. You were unaware, but I was not. You had no idea of your future or your journey, but I saw it all. The joys and the wounds, the triumphs and the threats. I charted every step, not to control you, but to guide you with a loving hand. You are not walking blindly through time. There is purpose in every breath you take, and those who came before you, those whose blood still runs through your veins, were given glimpses of that purpose. Though they now walk in glory, I allowed them to see some of the battles you would face. I sent my angels to whisper warnings to them so they might intercede for you in ways words on earth could never express. And today one of them saw something urgent, something grave, and with a cry that shook the heavens, they begged me to reveal to you what they now see. So I have come. I am here, and I speak not with wrath, but with unwavering love. There is a spirit dark, relentless, and cunning that has clung to the edges of your life. Twice before it tried to strike you. You may not even have realized the danger, but I was there. I stood between you and harm. My hands deflected its attempts. My grace shattered its schemes, and you were spared. But now this spirit is growing desperate. Its time is short. It seeks new ways to infiltrate, new doors to slip through, new weaknesses to exploit. It hides in shadow, waiting for an opening. But my child, do not fear. I see it. I know its every move before it makes them. I have stationed angels around you, unseen yet fierce, and I have equipped them for war. You are not defenseless, you are not abandoned. But I need you to understand something important. My protection surrounds those who dwell within my presence. It is not a passive shield. It is a covering that moves with you as long as you remain near me. If you wander too far, if you begin to walk in places I have not sent you, the covering weakens not because I grow tired or distant, but because you begin to step outside of it by your own choosing. That's why I urge you today to remain close, to walk in awareness, to let every step you take be guided by my spirit. This season you are entering requires wisdom. It demands discernment. The enemy no longer seeks just to harm you. He wants to claim your soul, to pull you away from the light, to isolate you in confusion until you no longer recognize my voice. But he will fail if you stand firm in me. You don't need to see everything. You only need to trust that I do. When you feel surrounded by silence, I am still present. When you cannot discern what is truth and what is deception, pause. Come to me. I will speak to you not through fear but through peace. My voice will settle the storm within. My words will become your compass. There is nothing random about what you are facing. Every trial you walk through carries weight. It is not punishment, it is preparation. I do not send calamity, but I use every moment of adversity to refine the gold I placed within you long ago. Your life is not a sequence of meaningless struggles. It is a sacred story I am still writing. But if you ignore my whispers, if you dismiss the nudges of my spirit, if you keep walking without acknowledging my hand, then the enemy gains access. He is not merely trying to delay you, he is seeking your destruction. This is why I am speaking now, to give you clarity before the next battle arrives, to awaken your eyes so you do not walk blindly into what was meant to be avoided. You are at a spiritual threshold. On one side is the path of wisdom and power where you walk in step with me, shielded by my presence, empowered by my spirit. On the other, a deceptive path lined with what appears harmless, even comforting, but underneath, it leads to bondage and confusion. And I will not force you. I have given you the sacred gift of choice. Love that is forced is not love. Protection that is demanded is not faith. You must choose deliberately, intentionally to remain under my covering. And I promise you this: if you do, no scheme of darkness can succeed, not one. The enemy will come, but he will flee. The trial may rise, but you will endure. The temptation may whisper, but your soul will stand firm in my truth. I am the God who never slumbers. I am your defender, your peace, your strength, your anchor in the storm. You are never alone. Let these words root themselves in the deepest part of your spirit. Hold them close. Do not let them be taken from you by doubt or distraction. They were spoken with eternal purpose, sent from heaven itself, carried by love that never dies. My child, I am with you, and I will not let you fall. My beloved one, as I continue to speak, I need you to open the eyes of your heart even wider, because what I reveal next is not meant to frighten you, but to strengthen you for what is unfolding in the spiritual realm. There is an enemy that has studied you, not in haste, but with patient, calculating intent. This spirit has watched your patterns, your wounds, your questions, your desires. It has waited for the moments when you felt most alone. It knows that pain opens doors, that confusion leaves cracks, that fear builds pathways for darkness to enter. But do not think for a moment that I am unaware. I, your God, have seen every attempt it has made to draw close. I blocked the ones you never noticed. I sent angels to stand between you and danger when you walked unaware. I whispered wisdom when you didn't even realize I was guiding your steps. I shielded you with my mercy when you didn't know you needed it. Twice already, this enemy tried to take what is sacred in your life, your peace, your joy, your future, but it was stopped, not by coincidence, not by luck, but by my hand. Yet now it is trying again, with more urgency, with more subtlety, because it knows time is running out. Its goal is not merely to harm you. Its desire is to sever you from me, to drag your soul into a darkness so deep you would begin to forget who you are and whose you are. This is why you must not take lightly the weight of this moment. I do not tell you these things to alarm you, but to equip you. You have not been left vulnerable. You have been clothed in armor, bathed in my spirit, and covered by the prayers of generations. Even now, someone who walked the earth before you is crying out on your behalf in the courts of heaven. Their prayers have reached me. Their cries have stirred my heart. And so I speak. You must understand. Not every storm you face is merely emotional. Some winds are spiritual. Some darkness does not come from outside circumstances, but from unseen forces working to discourage, distract, and deceive you. But you, my child, are not powerless. I have given you the ability to discern, to recognize when something is not of me, to feel the unrest in your spirit when you are near what is dangerous to your soul. That unease, that heaviness, that sudden doubt that arises when everything seems right but feels wrong deep inside, that is my spirit warning you. Do not ignore it. Listen when I prompt you. Pause when you feel confusion. Stop when peace disappears. These are signals, divine signposts meant to keep you from stepping into traps that were designed to look like comfort, opportunity, or companionship. You do not need to fear, but you do need to be wise. This enemy does not always wear the face of darkness. It often dresses itself in light, in friendliness, in promises that sound good but are rooted in deception. It may come as a new relationship, a tempting shortcut, a seemingly harmless distraction, yet behind it lies a thread that would unravel your purpose if left unchecked. But here is the truth I want engraved on your heart. Nothing can reach you when you stay close to me. No spirit, no lie, no snare can touch you when you live within my presence. My protection is not fragile. My watch over you does not falter. But you must choose to remain. You must choose again and again every day to stay anchored in me. You are walking through a season of sharpening. I am making you alert, more sensitive to spiritual things, more aware of what you allow into your heart, your home, your thoughts. This is not paranoia, this is preparation. I am not calling you to be suspicious of everything. I am calling you to walk in discernment. You do not need to battle everything in your own strength. I never asked you to. The victory has already been secured. But I do ask that you walk with me, that you listen to me, and that you trust me even when you don't fully understand. Because the spirit that seeks you will find no entrance if your soul remains aligned with me. There is power in purity. Not perfection, but purity of intention, purity of devotion, purity of heart. When you live in this way, the enemy finds no foothold. He looks for bitterness and finds forgiveness. He searches for pride and finds humility. He seeks fear and finds unwavering trust. That is how you win. That is how you walk unshaken in a shaking world. And now I want to say something you need to hear clearly. I am not angry with you. Even if you have wandered, even if you've entertained what you shouldn't have, even if your heart has grown distant, I am not here to shame you. I am here to bring you home. My arms are open. Come back under my covering. Let me be your refuge again. Let me cleanse what was polluted. Let me rebuild what was broken. Let me breathe peace into the places where anxiety has taken root. You have not ruined what I've planned for you. You are not too far gone. As long as your heart turns to me, even trembling, even uncertain, I will meet you with mercy. Let me remind you of something eternal. The enemy has no final word over your life. He may threaten, he may accuse, he may tempt and distract, but I have the final say, and I say you are mine. No force of hell can change that unless you give your agreement away. So, my child, agree with me instead. Agree that you are loved. Agree that you are protected. Agree that you were born for a purpose greater than fear, greater than failure, greater than anything the darkness has tried to tell you. You were created in light, and you were created for light. Let your next step be a return, not just to me, but to yourself, to who I made you to be. Strong, whole, wise, guarded not by walls of fear, but by pillars of truth. The one who wept in heaven for you today. They saw who you are becoming, and they rejoiced in your future. So rejoice with them. Let their tears be a reminder. You are deeply seen, deeply prayed for, and eternally loved. I am here. I have never left. And this battle you face, I am already fighting it. My beloved child, now that you understand the darkness that watches and the light that guards, I must tell you about the weapons you carry, holy, powerful, and already within your reach, for I have not left you unarmed. You are not sent into battle empty-handed. Within you and around you are tools forged in the fires of heaven, crafted not by human hands, but by divine wisdom. The first and most powerful of these is my word. It is not just ink on pages or verses for comfort. My word is alive, it is spirit, it is breath, it is a sword, sharper than any blade, able to cut through the thickest fog of confusion and silence the loudest voices of deception. When you declare my promises aloud, not as ritual but with faith, they echo in the spiritual realm with the weight of heaven behind them. The enemy cannot stand before my truth. So do not merely read my word, wield it. Let it live inside you. Memorize it not for tradition but for survival. When your mind is under siege, speak my truth aloud. When fear rises, proclaim my love. When temptation whispers, declare your freedom. You were never meant to win battles in silence. My word is your sword, you sit. But that is not all. You also have prayer. Not a duty, not a whisper into empty space. Prayer is a force. It is communion with me, the God who moves mountains. It is not the length or beauty of your words that move, mate, is your heart. When you pray in faith, you activate the full power of heaven. Angels respond. Chains break. Strongholds crumble. Do not underestimate the prayer you whisper through tears. Do not dismiss the groaning that leaves your lips when words cannot form. I understand it all. I hear the language of the soul even better than the tongue, and I answer, sometimes silently, sometimes suddenly, but always with love. Remember, your prayers don't need to be perfect, they just need to be honest. You also carry something that terrifies the enemy: worship. When you worship not just in song, but in surrender, you create an atmosphere the enemy cannot remain in. Darkness cannot dwell where praise is genuine. Your worship builds walls of fire around your spirit. It shifts your focus from fear to faith, from chaos to peace, from self to me. Worship isn't just what you do when things are going well. It is the weapon you raise when everything feels like it's falling apart. And when you lift your hands in those moments when you choose to sing through sorrow, you shake the very gates of hell. Do not wait for everything to feel right before you worship. Worship makes things right. But among the fiercest battles you'll face, child, is the war in your mind. That's where the enemy begins his campaign. That's where he plants the first seeds of doubt, fear, insecurity, and shame. He doesn't always come with swords and storms. He often comes with suggestions. You're not enough. God has forgotten you. Your prayers aren't working. You're too broken, too far gone. Do not entertain these lies. Guard your mind like a sacred garden. Do not let bitterness grow there. Do not let unworthiness make a home there. You were not made to host fear. You were not designed to carry torment. You were created to carry peace. My peace. Take every thought captive. Filter your thoughts through the truth of my word. Ask yourself, does this bring me closer to God or pull me into shame? If it pulls you from me, reject it, rebuke it, replace it. The enemy gains ground when you begin to agree with his voice over mine. And I will tell you something most forget. The thoughts you allow shape the atmosphere of your life. That's why you must be vigilant. Not paranoid, but spiritually alert. You don't have to analyze every breeze, but you must pay attention when the temperature of your soul begins to shift, when anxiety rises, when peace withdraws, when confusion creeps in. These are signs, like smoke before fire, like tremors before earthquake. Do not ignore them. When you feel heavy, come to me. When your thoughts race, seek stillness in my presence. I am not afraid of your questions. I am not offended by your tears. I welcome them. I am a God who listens not from far away, but from within the very space where you suffer. You must also remember this: you are not alone in this war. My angels stand watch around you, even now. They do not sleep. They do not tire. They guard you with a fierceness you've never seen. And when darkness draws near, they do not step back, they draw swords. You may not hear the clashing in the spirit, but I assure you, it is happening. And your prayers, yeas, even the softest ones, are their rallying cry. When you pray, you awaken armies. When you speak my name, you summon strength. The battle may be invisible, but the victory is real. It is not fantasy. It is not exaggeration. It is a realm more real than what you see with your eyes. So walk with confidence, Enote, in your own strength, but in mine. Every time you choose to forgive, you shut a door the enemy hoped would stay open. Every time you resist bitterness, you disarm an arrow aimed at your soul. Every time you say, God, I trust you, even with trembling lips, you build a fortress he cannot penetrate. This is how you fight, my child. Not with fists, but with faith, with truth, with worship, with prayer, with my presence. And never forget, your fight is not for victory, it is from victory. You are not trying to win what I have not yet given. You are standing in what I already accomplished. Through my Son, death was defeated. The grave was shattered. Hell's gates were broken. And you, beloved, have been given access to all the power of heaven. So take up your armor, not just when things get hard, but daily, consistently, faithfully. Put on truth. Wrap yourself in righteousness. Guard your heart with peace. Lift up the shield of faith. Take up the sword of the Spirit, and cover it all with the helmet of salvation, the unshakable truth that you are mine. You are not weak. You are not lost. You are a warrior wrapped in my light. My beloved child, now that you understand the power that rests in your hands through my word, through prayer, through worship, and through your mind, I must now speak to you about something equally vital: the condition of your soul and the freedom of your will. Because even as I surround you with divine weapons and dispatch my angels to protect you, there is one sacred boundary I will never cross without your invitation: your free will. I gave it to you not as a test, but as a treasure. Because love that is demanded is not love at all. Relationship that is forced becomes religion. And I never called you into religion. I called you into communion, a life of love, freely chosen, deeply rooted in trust. But with that freedom comes a holy responsibility. You must choose again and again to walk in the light, not once, but daily. Not just in crisis, but in the quiet moments too. And I tell you this with gentleness and truth. When you make choices that pull you away from me, when you entertain what is unholy, when you hold on to bitterness, when you allow sin to linger like dust in the corners of your soul, you create cracks in your spiritual armor. You grant the enemy access not because I failed you, but because your choices opened a door. You may not even realize it. Sometimes it is subtle. Sometimes it looks like holding onto a grudge you've justified for years. Sometimes it's the secret compromise you've told yourself doesn't matter. Sometimes it's a connection, a practice, or a pattern that seems harmless on the surface, but drifts your heart from mine in quiet increments. My child, I do not say this to shame you, I say it to awaken you. The enemy is legalistic. He watches for these cracks. He looks for the smallest window, the tiniest fracture, and he presses in always with subtlety, never with truth. And once inside, he does what he always does. He accuses, confuses, and seeks to separate you from me. But he has no authority that you do not give him. And that's why I'm calling you now, not just to fight, but to purify, to examine your life, to lay it bare before me, not in fear of punishment, but in hope of restoration. This is not a moment of condemnation, it is a sacred invitation. Come into my presence and ask, Lord, what have I allowed that does not belong? Let me show you gently and lovingly the places that need cleansing. Let me wash you in my mercy. Let me free you from what has silently bound you. Because where there is confession, there is healing. And where there is repentance, there is revival. Do not be afraid to look at the parts of yourself you've avoided. I already see them. And I do not recoil. I draw nearer. I am not disgusted by your wounds. I am moved with compassion. I do not flinch at your failures. I open my arms. But you must be honest with me. If there is unforgiveness in your heart, release it. If there are secret habits that dishonor me, surrender them. If you've held on to what is unclean objects, ideas, or allegiances that carry spiritual residue, remove them. Destroy them, not in fear, but in reverence, not out of superstition, but out of the deep knowing that holiness is not optional, it is protection. You were never meant to live among shadows. You are a temple, and I, the Holy One, desire to dwell within you fully, not as a guest, but as Lord, not in a corner, but in every room. And I promise you this, when you cleanse what has been defiled, when you turn from what once entangled you, when you purify your heart before me, I will flood your life with a new strength. You will feel lighter, clearer, whole. You will hear my voice with greater clarity. You will walk with a boldness not born of pride, but of purity. Because righteousness is not about perfection, it is about alignment. It is about walking in step with me, living from a heart that desires to honor me, being quick to repent, slow to wander, eager to return. And when you live in this way, the enemy's strategies lose their grip. He cannot dominate where I reign. He cannot confuse where I bring peace. He cannot accuse what I have already forgiven. My child, you are not meant to live half-free. I didn't rescue you from darkness so you could keep pieces of it hidden in your closet. I didn't deliver you so you could dance at the edge of the old chains. I came to set you free completely. And whom the Son sets free is free indeed. But freedom begins with choice, and that choice is always yours. Even now, I wait, not passively, but patiently. My spirit is stirring within you. My love is reaching for you. I have not withdrawn. I have only stepped back enough for you to choose. Because love cannot be forced. And this is what I long for, not just obedience, but intimacy. Not just compliance, but closeness. I want your heart, not your performance. I want you to walk beside me, not just serve me from afar. I want you to live in the shelter of my covering, not just visit it when storms come. So today, I am asking you choose me again. Not out of fear, but out of freedom. Not because you have to, but because your soul knows it is what you were made for. Return to your first love. Come back into the safety of my presence. Let go of the weights that have dulled your spirit and drained your joy. Lay down the false comforts, the temporary distractions, the spiritual clutter, and let me breathe new life into you. I am not asking you to fix yourself. I am inviting you to let me cleanse you. I do not expect you to be flawless. I simply want you to be open, to say, God, search me, show me, heal me. And when you do, I will respond not with condemnation, but with fire, holy fire, cleansing fire, restoring fire. I will burn away what was never yours to carry. I will heal what the enemy tried to destroy, and I will fill you again with peace so deep you will wonder how you ever lived without it. You are not too far. You are one choice away from alignment, one prayer away from freedom, one step away from restoration. Come home, my beloved child. As you purify your heart and return to the shelter of my presence, I now call your attention to something deeply connected to your journey, those you walk beside. Because not everyone around you has been sent by me. Some entered your life by divine appointment gifts, answers to prayer, companions for the road. But others slipped in quietly, unnoticed at first, yet slowly began to pull your spirit downward. They speak well, they smile kindly, but their influence sows seeds of confusion, distraction, or doubt. This is not to cause you suspicion, it is to call you to discernment. You must be wise in whom you allow to speak into your soul. You must be prayerful about those you let near your deepest places. Because relationships are more than social, they are spiritual. Every person close to you either pulls you closer to me or gently nudges you away. Some of the struggles you've faced weren't born from your choices, but from the spirits attached to the people around you. Yes, this is truth few speak aloud, but I speak it to you now with clarity and love. The enemy sometimes uses pio plenot in possession, but in influence. He plants discouragement through a friend's careless word. He uses a relative's unresolved bitterness to stir unrest in your heart. He places people in your path who seem harmless, but whose presence clouds your vision. That is why I urge you to pray over every relationship, not with fear, but with wisdom. Ask me, Lord, who truly belongs in my life? Who is aligned with my destiny? Who carries your light? And who, perhaps unknowingly, has been sent to detour or delay me? And I will answer. I will reveal the intentions that eyes cannot see. I will bring peace where my presence is honored, and I will stir discomfort where something is off. Pay attention to that discomfort. It is my spirit gently signaling that something or someone does not belong. And when I show you, be obedient. Do not hold on to what I am asking you to release. Some connections are seasonal, some are assignments, and some are traps. Do not confuse one for the other. What feels familiar is not always faithful. What feels comfortable is not always consecrated. And I say this gently, because I know letting go is painful. You love deeply, you care fiercely, and I honor your heart. But sometimes, protection looks like separation. If I remove someone from your life, it is never out of cruelty, it is always out of mercy, because I see what you cannot. I hear the conversation spoken behind closed doors. I know the intentions buried beneath polite gestures, and I will never allow someone to remain in your life if their presence threatens your calling. But you must trust me, even if it hurts, even if it's confusing, even if you don't understand right away. For every person I ask you to release, I will bring someone more aligned with your purpose, someone who will walk with you, not against you, someone who will uplift your spirit, not drain your soul, someone who honors what I've placed inside you instead of questioning it. I want your inner circle to be holy ground, not perfect, but sacred, filled with those who pray with you, speak life over you, celebrate your growth, call you higher, because what I'm building in you cannot be supported by weak foundations. You are not who you were before. You have grown. You are maturing. The anointing on your life has deepened, and with new elevation comes new alignment. That means some old relationships no longer fit, not because of bitterness, but because of becoming. This is the pruning process. I know it feels like loss, but it is divine restructuring. I'm not subtracting, I'm strengthening. I'm making room. I'm clearing space so the next season of your life can be built without compromise. And yes, it will require courage. Courage to say no when others expect a yes. Courage to walk alone for a season rather than remain in connections that dilute your spirit. Courage to listen when I whisper, "That one is not for you." Courage to trust that solitude with me is better than company without purpose. And here is what I want you to hold tightly. You are not alone in this. You are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses, those who have gone before you. Their prayers are still echoing in the heavens. They rejoice every time you take another step toward holiness, toward truth, toward your divine purpose. They are cheering for you even now. One of them, in fact, was the reason I came to speak today. They saw your struggle. They saw what approached. They could not intervene in the physical, but they stood before my throne in the spiritual, and they wept for you, not out of sorrow, but out of love. And I heard them. So I sent this message. I reached for you, because your life matters. Your destiny is not random. Your path is not accidental. You were born with a divine assignment, and it is too important to be delayed by distractions, relationships, or battles that do not belong to you. I want you to know something. The pain you've walked through was not for nothing. It taught you who to trust. It taught you how to listen. It taught you how to pray, not as a ritual, but as a lifeline. It showed you that my presence is the only constant in a world full of shifting sand. And now, I'm calling you forward, not with pressure, but with peace, not with fear, but with fire. You are stepping into a higher place, a deeper knowing, a clearer sight, and yes, it will cost you. But what you gain will be so much more than what you release. So, my child, take inventory. Ask me to search your relationships, your surroundings, your patterns. Invite me to show you what is helping you grow and what is holding you back. I will not leave you to figure it out alone. And when I speak, listen, because every time you say yes to my leading, you say yes to your true identity. You are not just a survivor. You are not merely someone trying to make it through life. You are chosen, appointed, called, and covered. Let nothing and no one keep you from becoming everything I created you to be. My beloved child, now that your heart is soft, now that your ears are listening, I want to reveal something you've long suspected deep within your soul, but have not yet fully grasped. You were never ordinary. Even before your first breath, I wrote your name into eternity's pages, not with ink, but with light. I designed your days not to blend into the background of this world, but to stand as a living testimony of my glory. You are not merely existing, you are carrying destiny. The enemy knows this. That's why he's fought so hard to dim your light. But no matter what he's tried, he has not won. You're still here. You're still breathing. And even if you feel weary, bruised, or confused, you are still chosen. I have placed within you gifts that this world desperately needs. I've hidden treasures inside your soul that only time, surrender, and intimacy with me can uncover. These gifts were not given for display, they were given for purpose. They are sacred tools meant to heal, to lift, to restore, and to reveal me to others through the way you live and love. And I want you to know, you are enough for the calling I've placed on your life. You don't need to be more impressive. You don't need to fix every flaw first. You simply need to say yes. A surrendered yes will take you further than a polished performance ever will. Because I don't call the qualified, I qualify the called. And you, my child, have been called, but with this calling comes a need for armor. I have not left you exposed. I have clothed you with supernatural strength. You are not meant to face spiritual battles with human tools. What surrounds you in the unseen is far more powerful than anything the visible world can offer. So wear your armor. Fasten the belt of truth around your waist so that lies, no matter how clever, cannot loosen your footing. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, not your own perfection, but the righteousness I gifted you through my Son. It guards your heart from shame and your spirit from accusation. Let your feet be fitted with the readiness of peace, a peace that stands firm even when the storm rises, a peace that carries you into places others fear to tread. Take up the shield of faith, not because you always feel strong, but because faith defends even the trembling soul. With it, you will extinguish every flaming arrow aimed at your identity, your purpose, and your worth. Wear the helmet of salvation lit. The assurance of who you are in me. Protect your mind from the noise of the enemy's confusion. And do not forget the sword of the Spirit, me word, which cuts through every fog, shatters every lie, and pierces the darkness with eternal truth. This armor is not symbolic, it is real. It is spiritual. And when you walk in it, the enemy sees it. He trembles at it. Because what you carry is not your own might, but mine. And here's what I want you to remember when the battle feels heavy. I am not asking you to fight for victory. I am asking you to fight from victory. The war has already been won. The cross is not just a symbol of suffering, it is the eternal declaration that nothing can separate you from my love. Not sin, not shame, not weakness, not wandering. My Son took it all. Every accusation, every mistake, every moment of darkness. And in its place, he gave you access to my heart, my spirit, my kingdom. So do not walk like you are abandoned. You are not a beggar seeking scraps of grace. You are a child of the King, seated at the table of mercy, robed in acceptance, crowned with purpose. Even when your steps falter, your identity remains unchanged. Do you understand that yet, my child? You are mine. You belong to me not because you earned it, but because I chose you. Not because you performed perfectly, but because I saw your heart before the world even knew your name. You may see yourself through the lens of your past, but I see you through the blood of redemption. And I see strength where you feel weakness. I see courage where you feel fear. I see beauty where you feel broken. I see destiny where you see delay. Because I do not define you by your wounds, I define you by your worth. A worth that does not fluctuate with failure, but is anchored in eternal truth. You are not who they said you were. You are not your trauma, not your lowest moment, not your darkest thought. You are who I say you are. And I say, you are loved, forgiven, redeemed, equipped, sent. The enemy cannot argue with the seal I've placed on you. So stop shrinking. Stop silencing yourself. Stop believing that what you've been through disqualifies you from what I've planned. Everything you've walked through, I will use it. The pain you thought would break you, it will become the bridge for someone else's healing. The silence you endured, it will birth a voice that carries compassion. The battles you barely survived, they will become stories of hope. Not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. Let me turn your wounds into windows. Let me breathe purpose into your past. Let me make your life a lighthouse for those still lost in storms. And let me remind you again and again, if needed, that you are not forgotten. My beloved child, after all I have spoken, after the truth has washed over your heart, after your soul has remembered who you are, I want you to sit in this final truth. I will never leave you. Not when you stumble. Not when you question. Not when you are tired, doubtful, or afraid. Not when you've cried so much you have no tears left. Not when you whisper, God, where are you? Into the silence of your pillow. Even then, especially then, I am there. I am the one who never sleeps. The one who walks beside you in the night when no one else sees. The one who guards you when you don't even know you're in danger. The one who counts every breath, catches every tear, and knows every thought, yet loves you just the same. You do not have to perform to keep me near. You do not have to strive to earn my favor. You already have my heart. You always have. When you were young and unaware of me, I was there. When you made choices that broke your own heart, I was still there. When you lost your way, when you let go of me, I never let go of you. I do not walk away. Others may have, but I never did. I never will. You see, my love is not fragile. It is not conditional. It does not expire. It is not frightened by your weakness or disappointed by your struggles. My love is eternal. It is wrapped around you now, this very moment, like a cloak of light. Even if the whole world turns its back, my face will still shine toward you. Even if everything falls apart, my arms remain a place of refuge. You don't have to be fearless to walk with me. You just have to come. Come when you're weak. Come when you've failed. Come when you're unsure. Come when your faith feels small and your burdens feel large. My presence is not reserved for the perfect. It is home for the broken, the seeking, the returning, the hungry. I want to fill you again, not just with knowledge, but with presence. Not just with answers, but with peace. Not just with purpose, but with power. There is nothing too messy for me to handle, nothing too tangled for me to redeem. Let me show you what I can do with ashes. Let me show you how I turn mourning into dancing, fear into fire, brokenness into beauty. You are not disqualified. You are not too late. Your story is not over. In fact, this is the moment where the next chapter begins, where clarity returns, where peace settles, where the noise of the world fades and the voice of love speaks louder than fear. And I, your father, your friend, your shepherd, your creator, I am still speaking. I'm still here. I have not withdrawn. I have not changed my mind about you. I have not rewritten your purpose. I have not retracted my promises. My child, I want you to breathe that in. I have not changed my mind about you. Even after everything, even with the scars, even with the doubts, even with the detours, I knew all of it, and I still chose you. So rise again, not in your own strength, but in mine. Speak again, not with perfect words, but with honest ones. Trust again, not because you feel brave, but because I am trustworthy. Let your heart rest in this truth. You are held. Held through the chaos, held through the silence, held through the transition, held through the letting go and the beginning again. And in this holding, I will carry you forward, not dragging you, not forcing you, but walking with you, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment, until the very end. And even then, I will still be with you, because you were made for eternity. and you are already mine. If this message stirred your spirit, take a moment now to breathe, reflect, and share what moved you most in the comments below. Let your response be a seed of faith, not just for you, but for others who need to hear they are not alone. My beloved child, now that you've heard my voice and felt the weight of truth settle in your heart, I want to leave you with one final understanding, not just of who I am, but of who you are. You are not merely the one I saved. You are not just the one I comfort. You are not only the one I protect and restore. You are also the one I now send. Yes, you fragile, healing, imperfect, precious, you carry something sacred within you. You are a vessel of my light, a bearer of hope, a walking testimony that darkness does not win. And in this world where so many are afraid, confused, and exhausted, you are the evidence that I still speak, that I still love, that I still redeem. You don't have to be loud to carry authority. You don't have to be known to carry influence. You don't need a platform to shine your presence when rooted in me is the light. Every room you walk into, my spirit walks in with you. Every conversation where you listen with compassion, I am speaking through you. Every act of kindness, every quiet prayer, every forgiven offense, every surrendered moment, it all matters. It all carries eternity's weight, because you are not just walking this earth for survival. You were sent here to reveal something divine. There are people assigned to your voice, wounds only your story will touch, hearts that will soften because you chose not to harden, lives that will change because you chose to live. Do not dismiss your role in this world. The enemy wants you to believe you are small, that your days are ordinary, that your words are insignificant. But I say, every moment you walk with me is sacred. When you rise each morning and choose peace over fear, you shift atmospheres. When you forgive again, you break generational chains. When you pray when no one is watching, heaven leans in. When you worship through tears, you wage war in the unseen. And when you simply keep going, when you keep trusting, keep believing, keep loving, despite it all, you are declaring to the darkness, I belong to the light. And that declaration is powerful. So, child of mine, go forward with this truth wrapped around your soul like armor. You are not just loved, you are commissioned. You are not just rescued, you are released. You are not just restored, you are ready. Not because you feel ready, but because I am with you, and I am always ready. When your knees shake, I will steady you. When your courage fades, I will carry you. When your path is unclear, I will be the voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. Do not worry about being perfect, just be present, just stay close, just keep saying yes, and I will do the rest. You will see things you never imagined. You will touch lives in ways you'll never fully understand. You will leave ripples in eternity just by living faithfully, one moment at a time. You are the light of the world, not because of who you are alone, but because of who is in you. Shine, child, not for applause, not for validation, but because light is your nature now. You carry me, and I will be with you to the very end of the age. If this message found you in a season of silence or uncertainty, let this be your turning point. Share in the comments what word or sentence lit up something in you. Let others witness the light you've received, and maybe through your courage they'll find their way too. My beloved child, before we part from this sacred moment, let me whisper this into the quiet places of your spirit. My presence is not a place you visit, it is your home. You don't have to earn your way here. You don't have to wait for a sign or a feeling. You don't have to be perfect, pure, or powerful to return. Just come, always come. Come messy, come tired, come confused, come uncertain. Just come. There is no shame in needing me. There is no weakness in depending on me. You were made for dependence. That is not failure, it is design. Your soul finds its rhythm when it walks in step with mine. Your spirit finds its strength when it rests in my nearness. Your mind finds its clarity when it is anchored in my truth. Your life finds its meaning when it is aligned with my love. So let your everyday begin with this simple act, awareness. Before you rush, before you scroll, before you run toward the noise of the world, return to the stillness of me. Close your eyes, breathe, whisper my name, and remember, I am already here. I've always been here, in the mundane and in the miraculous, in the heartbreak and in the healing, in the waiting room and on the mountaintop, in the brokenness and in the beauty. My presence does not fluctuate with your emotions. I do not retreat when you doubt. I do not hide when you struggle. I am constant. I am closer than your breath, and I will never leave you. I know the road ahead still has twists. I know there will be days when questions come faster than answers. I know the world may still throw storms, and the enemy may still whisper lies. But you do not walk forward alone. My angels go before you. My spirit lives within you. My promises surround you. And my love is holding you together even when you feel like falling apart. There will be moments when you forget this, and that's okay. I will remind you. Through a sunset, through a stranger's kindness, through a verse that leaps off the page and lands in your heart, through tears that somehow become prayers, and through the whisper that comes not in thunder but in stillness. I am here. I see you. I love you. Keep going, because this isn't the end. It's the becoming. You're not too late. You're right on time. You're not disqualified. You're being refined. You're not alone. You are surrounded. And most of all, you are deeply, eternally, relentlessly mine. So walk forward now, not with the weight of the world, but with the wind of heaven behind you. Let your heart stay open. Let your eyes stay lifted. Let your hands stay surrendered. And let your soul carry these words wherever you go. I am loved. I am called. I am covered. I am not forgotten. I am not forsaken. I am a child of the living God, and He is always with me. If these words have stirred something in your heart today, something sacred, something silent that finally felt seen, let it echo. Leave a comment below. Not for noise, not for numbers, but for witness. Because sometimes your amen is the confirmation someone else is desperately praying for. My beloved child, as this conversation draws to a close, I want you to know nothing spoken here today was random. Every word was chosen with the care of a father who sees everything, your yesterdays, your tomorrows, and the quiet ache of today. I have not wasted your pain. I have not overlooked your tears, and I will not let your story go unfinished. There is blessing ahead, yes, blessing, but not the kind that always looks like comfort or ease. It is the kind of blessing that brings clarity, the kind that reorders your heart, the kind that lifts your chin, wipes your tears, and places a holy fire back in your bones, the kind that cannot be stolen, silenced, or stopped. This blessing is not a reward, it is your inheritance. It is not earned, it is bestowed. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are, mine. So receive it now, not with striving, but with stillness, not with fear, but with faith, not with performance, but with peace. I bless your heart to be soft, yet strong. I bless your mind to know truth and reject lies. I bless your eyes to see the unseen and recognize the holy in the ordinary. I bless your ears to hear my whispers even in the chaos. I bless your hands to create, to heal, to give, to build. I bless your feet to walk in purpose, not panic. I bless your nights with rest and your days with divine alignment. I bless your past with mercy, your present with peace, and your future with glory. You are not leaving this moment the same way you entered it. A shift has occurred, not in your surroundings perhaps, but in your spirit. Where there was confusion, now there is clarity. Where there was fear, now there is faith. Where there was heaviness, now there is hope. And you will carry this blessing with you into the grocery store, into the boardroom, into the hospital room, into the kitchen, into the silence of night, into the noise of morning, into every room, every season, every sacred inch of your life. And when doubt tries to return, when the noise of the world grows louder, come back to this moment. Revisit these words, reclaim this peace, reopen your heart, and remember, you are the one I wept over in heaven. You are the one I whispered over in the womb. You are the one I defended in silence. You are the one I fought for on the cross. You are the one I chose. You are the one I still choose again and again and again. So go, not in fear, go in faith, go in light, go in the strength of heaven that has always walked beside you. You are never alone and never forgotten. And this is sealed forever. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Spirit who dwells within you. Amen. If this message touched your soul, pause and let that moment linger. Then, if you feel led, write just 2 words in the comments. I receive. And know this: your journey is now marked with blessing. Not because of emotion, but because of divine intention. My beloved child, before we close this sacred encounter, I must place something into your hands, something I've kept for such a time as this. I am not only your refuge, I am not only your comforter, I am also the one who has given you authority. Yes, you heard me. You are not just here to survive the storms, you are here to speak peace to them. You are not just meant to hide from the darkness, you are here to pierce through it. You are not just waiting for deliverance. You have been anointed to declare it over your home, over your family, over your future. Child, the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead lives in you. Let that sink in. Not a shadow of it, not a whisper of it. The fullness of resurrection power is within your spirit, waiting to be activated by faith, by surrender, by obedience. So no more shrinking. No more apologizing for the fire in your bones. No more second-guessing the dreams I placed in you long ago, the ones you buried under fear, under failure, under false humility. It's time to unbury them. It's time to speak again. It's time to stand not as one who merely believes in me, but as one who walks with me, in alignment, in clarity, and in purpose. This world does not need more noise. It needs more presence. Your presence are rooted in mine. So go. Go into your workplace and let peace follow you like a fragrance. Go into your family and let forgiveness be your banner. Go into your pain and let my light crack open every wound. Go into your calling and let my spirit be the breath behind every word you speak. You are not too small for what I've called you to. You are not too broken to be used. You are not too late to begin again. I am placing the keys back into your hand. The doors you thought were locked forever, they will open not because you push, but because you believe. Not because you strive, but because you trust. And when they do, walk through them like a child who knows their father goes before them. Because I do, I always have, and I always will. Now rise. Walk with your head lifted high. Not in pride, but in holy knowing that you are mine, that you are ready, that you are filled, that you are sent, my beloved. Before you go, carry this one final truth like a seal upon your spirit. You were never just listening to words. You were being remembered by heaven. And now, this moment becomes your altar, not a place to end, but a place to begin again, stronger, softer, wiser, and more deeply aware that the God who formed the stars also formed you. So as you rise from this sacred space, do not leave behind what you've felt. Take it with you. Let it shape your thoughts, your steps, your silence, your strength. Let it remind you, when the world grows loud, God still whispers. When you feel forgotten, God still calls your name. And when you begin to doubt again, come back. You are loved, you are called, and you are never, ever alone. If your heart was moved, speak life into this space. Leave a comment, not for attention but for agreement. Someone, somewhere, needs your Amen.